All right, this is recording 743. You can find me by typing in listen next in Twitter. Or X is what it's called now. Or you can go to my website, ChristinaStacia918.com. Or you can go to YouTube and find me, Christina Stacia 918. Or you can type in Google, you can type in Speaking to the CIA podcast by Christina Stacia 918 or by Christina Stacia. So I'm going to continue on here. I've got a lot to record and I'm just going to work through this until I get myself caught up. Okay, so continuing on with yesterday, talking about Minneapolis. I apologize for the typo. I misspelled it in Twitter. Talking about Minneapolis and Renee Good and Alex Pretty. Okay, so, and then the Ukraine connection. So also pointing out Purple Rain. Gene Roberts did that too. So as you guys know, Prince, who died in 2016, she took his life. It is very painful. And I'm not going to talk about it in the recordings. In these recordings in the podcast. I'll wait for the future. Anyway, so Minnesota or Minneapolis is where Prince is from. So he came out with the song Purple Rain. So then Purple Rain, so then Rain, Ukraine. Okay, so you see how all that goes together? Okay, and then she also used the Haley Bop comet. The Big Bopper. I told you she killed Richie Valens. She also made a reference to Haley Barbour, who I think ran for president. And then she's probably also using all kinds of stuff with the Barbour. The children's book, there's a children's elephants book, Barbour. I can't remember what it is. And then she's probably using Hanna-Barbera. And then she's probably using Henna. And then she's using HB. Okay. So, and then she's also making a reference to Alex Haley. So you know Gene Roberts committed those crimes in Minneapolis, and she is working both sides of the fire. She's committing crimes against humanity. She needs to be arrested. I know she's giving you a stage performance about what a victim she is, throwing herself on a railroad tie. I even just heard on the news a little while ago that they're planning on pushing in a stalker's law that's supposed to go up in January, or the anti-stalker month is supposed to be in January. Not the Zodiac Killer. Zodiac Killer, Charles Manson, the same thing. Charles Manson, Aquarius. Charles Manson is the stalker. Gene Roberts is the stalker. Why would you fucking do that? And then I asked in my brain in mental telepathy, I'm like, if she gets arrested, let's hope she does. Are you going to reverse this law if it passes? And they said in my brain, they will reverse the law. Please don't let it pass. Let's just slap the entire United States population and the entire world's population in the face. Gene Roberts is the one committing these crimes. She is not a victim. She is the leader of an occult. Stop being stupid. Do not pass that. So anyway, okay, so you can tell that she committed those crimes in Minneapolis. So also, this came through in my brain when I was like, I make fun of her with the freaking Miami Vice theme song. So does Donald Trump. Because she thinks she's a cop. She thinks she's some special cop or something, and she's not. And she's from Florida. So I play the Miami Vice theme song and make fun of her. And Donald Trump makes fun of her too. It's my favorite pastime to make fun of her until she's arrested. I don't know what else to do. It's the only way I can outlet my anger. Anyway, so I don't even need to make an excuse for it. The bitch did the World Trade Center attack, Oklahoma City bombing. She's been stalking me all of my life. She was child trafficking rings. She needs to be executed and arrested immediately. Anyway, so going back to, so the guy that sings the Miami Vice song is, the guy's name is Jan Hammer. Okay, so that, when I was like, oh my God, and there's so much Ice River music everywhere, I'm not even paying attention to his name. So anyway, I'm like, going back to the butthole surfers. Okay, remember I told you she assaulted me at 2 months old with a pencil? Okay, so the Butthole Surfers, the Pepper album, okay, so she merged that moving forward, trying to hide that she assaulted me and trying to blame it on Young Punk or whoever else to try to blame it on. I don't know who she tried to blame it on. I can literally see her doing it to me. I can literally see it in my brain. And anyway, so there's an eardrum on their album cover and it's bleeding and it's got a pencil sticking out of it. So then I'm like, okay, so the drum, and then that's MURD backwards, right? So red rum. Okay, it's supposed to be a remnant of, I don't know if the band knew that they did that or if they're saying Ice Rape. They're saying no. They're just being punk. So your ear has a hammer in it. So anyway, and she was a drum majorette or whatever in school. So she says. So anyway, I don't stop controlling my speech. I don't care. Stop trying to seek sympathy for your stop trying to control my speech. So anyway, so then there's the hammer, so there's the eardrum. So then that goes again to the future, and then that links to back to the past. And then also, there we see, what else was I seeing in this? Oh, I wanted to point out also, in 9/11, she did 9/11, so this goes more to 9/11. She used the phrase Timbuktu. You know how they say that here in the United States? Like, where is it? It's in Timbuktu. It's in the middle of nowhere. So she used Timbuktu, and then she put the BER in parentheses as she's the Bucktu. What she's Bucktu, so she's referring to my teeth, buck teeth, and then she's referring to buckwheat from the Little Rascals, and she's referring to the wheat penny. So that all goes together to the World Trade Center attack, proving again that she did the World Trade Center attack. Also, New Orleans. I know you guys came up with something called, I couldn't follow it exactly, and it disturbed me, like, beyond no end. But if I'm disturbed, I know there's 100 million people 100 million times more disturbed than me. So I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know. I don't understand this. But anyway, I know that Gene Roberts got a hold of you and thought she would do a smack you in your face and then be your best friend acts. I can tell she got a hold of you guys somewhere, somehow in politics. But the dog crunch thing, the crunch thing that you guys are doing there with the dog, and she's got also a thing that's related to that, where she does that here in Tulsa, and she calls it Love Crunch, and she gets all nasty, and she makes crunchy noises, and she gets super nasty, and she gets out on, and this happens in my brain, and she gets her, like, favorite freaking crap that she, like, is her fucking shit. And then she goes, Love Crunch, and then she, like, bites down, and she goes, and she does a crunch noise. And then, like, my body gets assaulted, but you guys know she's assaulting my body. She's been assaulting my body all of my life, but like hardcore for the past 10 years. So that's tied into this freaking crunch thing that she's doing with you guys. Now, with you guys, the dog crunch thing is the dog that goes out hunting. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, I just want to let you know that Gene did that to you guys. Gene Jernigan Roberts. They came from a white supremacist behind the scenes using ice on someone somewhere. So, and that's exactly what Gene is. And then also, she also converted. Remember when I told you Gene Roberts said in my head when I lived in Slidell? When I lived in Slidell, she said in my brain, she goes, Louisiana is a black hole. And I was like, what the fuck? And there's all kinds of people on in my brain. And they're like, what does she freaking mean by that? And nobody knew forever, like, what she meant by that. And she was being snotty and, like, racist as shit. And no one knew what the heck she was talking about. Then, like, years later, people are like, is she making some snot bag reference to people that she's holding in captivity, a bottle underground? And she thinks she's going to get away with, like, snot bagging you, steal your decode, and then run and act like she's the savior of humanity. And that's why she's being snotty at you. And, like, what is she doing with this? What is she doing? So then I'm listening to you guys talk on TV, and I realize you guys came out with something called the Black Hole Report. And it's about missing people. And I was like, oh my God. So Gene Roberts did that too. The same white supremacist. Controlling and trying to make okay and trying to cover up her tracks of the crap she did. And trying to push something through in Louisiana politics. So converting it to the Black Hole Report and literally talking about missing people is phenomenal. I'm like, oh my God. I really would love it if you could demand Gene Roberts' arrest, though. The entire planet is sick of her. I mean, truly fucking sick of her. So anyway, also, that went with the cat on a hot tin roof in the helicopter down. Also, I decoded bat on bin and then bat on tin, and then it was a reference to Apocalypto and then Armageddon. And then something else I wanted to point out. I'm going to do a couple more things here, and then I'm going to stop this recording and start a new one because I'm getting sore, like I can't talk. Okay, so how I hold my pencil. Okay, so there's like weird things about me. Okay, so if you pick up a pencil and you try to hold it, and you pick everybody that's listening right now, pick up a writing utensil. Pick it up and act like you're going to write. And then look at your hand and observe exactly how you're holding your pencil or your pen or whatever you're holding. Okay, so if most people hold it with they pinch their thumb and their index finger around the writing utensil, and then you write like that, right? Okay, so that also goes to me being the Scorpio child. Let me tell you something I've done all my life, and I can't change it. It is literally the way I write. So, and it's like, she is like effing with my brain, because you can tell what she's doing to me. You can tell she's trying to steal me, then she's trying to scatter me, and then she's trying to kill me, and then she's trying to make me think like I'm going to get revenge and be able to get her arrested, and she thinks I'll fail because she thinks everybody's going to cover her ass. Okay, but you can tell that I am the Scorpio child. Let me look at this, okay? I've done this all my life. So when I hold a writing utensil, a pen or a pencil, always, since I've been little and I've gotten in trouble for it, Like through my kindergarten years, through my first grade years, through my second grade years, probably through my third grade years, I got in trouble over and over and over again for not holding my pen or pencil right. And I just didn't listen. I didn't care. I was like, I can't do it the way you tell me to do it. I'm going to do it this way. So when I hold my pen or pencil, I don't pinch my finger and my thumb. My index finger curls over my thumb. Okay. So like my hand like literally like grips and wraps around the pen or pencil. So it's like my pinchers are like gonna kill Jean for assaulting me at 2 months old is what's going on. You realize on my other index finger on my left side, I've got 2 scars there. You know that from my earlier podcast. One where she ice raped me when I was 3 years old to get a butcher knife down to cut open an orange, and she sliced open my finger using robotic technology, and then she used it to coin the phrase. She didn't coin the phrase, she did a Charles Manson knick-knack paddywhack to match it up with Asian blood oranges. And there's literally a scar still on my finger. And I decoded the whole freaking thing out. I mean, she's used robotic controlling my entire life. Anyway, so I don't hold my pencil correct, okay? So if you want to find out if somebody is actually Christina Marie Stacia, and you're one of the only people that has this podcast, there's probably a lot of people that have this podcast now, and you know somebody that's been saying that they're me, go ask him to hold a pencil or a pen and write with it and see and watch them. Okay, so because that's very, very unique. Jean cannot steal my identity. Okay, so another thing that Jean did was, okay, and Jean was like getting her rocks off over this too. So when I was visiting my dad, which I mean, she gets her rocks off on everything because she's like, oh my God, Christina and Barry and Christina's mom's side of the family and like Barry's side of the family. Oh my God. Like none of them know that me and Maya Colt have been like stalking them their whole life and they're just so gullible and stupid and we'll just get away with everything. Oh my God. I mean, you can go through all of my podcasts. I've given you all the details. Okay, so she's very underhanded. So anyway, so she's in the living room and she's talking, and Seinfeld comes on, Jerry Seinfeld. And then Elaine comes on, and then she's like standing there like almost drooling, okay? Like salivating at the bit. And she's like signaling for like, she's like trying to like prompt like croquet conversation, like she's got a mediator. So this is early on, I don't really know what's going on. I just know shit's going wonky and weird and I've started decoding, but I haven't put all the pieces together yet. So anyway, so I'm like, Elaine looks like my stepmom. I said this to Jean Roberts. And like, Elaine looks like my stepmom. She looks like Beth. She looks just like Beth. Elaine from Seinfeld. She looks exactly like Beth. She even sounds like her, kind of. And Jean goes, oh my God, Barry, did you hear that? And she kicked her freaking shoulder and she did like her like snot, like Florida, like Wildwood, like she grosses me out. But anyway, she's like, oh my God, Barry, did you hear that? She said that Elaine looks like Beth. Can you believe that? And he's like, grumble, 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 and then went off into the kitchen. And she was like all like excited and stimulated and shit. And I'm standing there looking at her like, what is your fucking deal? You are a fucking weirdo. So anyway, but now we know Jean is a stalker and Jean is definitely a weirdo. So anyway, come to find out, okay, so Jean's whole plan was to steal my identity, right? She wants to be my dad's daughter. One of my sisters, I've got 2 sisters, okay? My mom has a daughter, Jennifer, and then my dad had another daughter. Her name was Leah, or Lee, and Lee passed away from COVID. Jean took her life. I'm not kidding around. She took her life. Jean stalks the hell out of my other sister. She constantly impersonates her. She's got like this whole like team of people that impersonate my sister all damn day long. It's fucking insane. I swear to God, they just sit there and like fondle themselves all freaking day long, every day, impersonating my sister. They're fucking dumb. All of them. And it's going on in my brain constantly. Jean and her freaking snot. And they make my sister sound like the worst person in the world. And my sisters come on like sporadically and is like, that does not mean those are Gene Roberts people. I've tried to get them to stop impersonating us. They will not freaking quit. I don't know what else to do. They keep saying that they're everybody. They keep saying that they're people. They keep saying that they're related to us. They keep saying that they know us. There's nothing we can do about it. Like, they're not dismissive. Like, there's nothing anyone can do. Jean impersonates everyone. She doesn't give a shit. It's a fucking game to her. So anyway, so she plans on stealing my identity, right? So then the show comes out. This is not a coincidence. The show comes out with Elaine, okay, from Seinfeld. And no, Gene Roberts lives on Jerry Street, okay? So Jerry Seinfeld should probably feel stalked. He probably does feel stalked. He probably does. So, and then you got Kramer versus Kramer, and then you got Kramer. Remember Kramer versus Kramer? The divorce movie? Dear God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So anyway, so she stars in, they cast her in a show called The New Christine. So that's no coincidence. And Jean just thinks that's cute because she thinks she's going to steal my identity. And she's going to be like, oh my God, Elaine, you're just going to love me. No, Elaine's not going to love you, Jean. And then she also cast Elaine in a show called VP, and you got to steal code VP. And I think it has to do with I think the show's Vice President, and all my decode is all around Vice President. It's all very, 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 very old. And Jean tries to do all kinds of stuff with the VP. So I'm going to end there, and then I've got another recording to do.